As global tensions rise and new geopolitical alignments take shape, the idea of a formal Russia-India-China alliance, or RIC, has resurfaced. Some see this as a powerful counterbalance to the Western order. But is it truly in India's interest to enter such an alliance, or is it a strategic trap that India must avoid? Welcome to Strategic Vanguard. I'm Naeem, and today we're examining why India should not join any formal alliance with Russia and China. Because behind the facade of multipolarity lies a power structure that does not serve India's long-term interests. Before we move forward, please like, subscribe, and share Strategic Vanguard, and be up to date with the latest news and happenings from the world of defense and strategic affairs. Tune into our video channels in Rumble and YouTube. And if you want to hear the audio version, please tune into Strategic Vanguard Deep Dive in Spotify. The concept of a Russia-India-China alliance isn't new. It was proposed by Russian strategist Yevgeny Primakov in the 1990s to build a Eurasian alternative to Western dominance. The idea gained diplomatic traction in the early 2000s, with trilateral meetings and symbolic gestures. But even then, it lacked coherence. Fast forward to today, Russia is isolated from the West due to the Ukraine war, and China is locked in strategic competition with the United States. That leaves India as a balancing force, but not an equal partner. Let's be clear, Russia and China are already deeply aligned. From joint military drills in the Pacific to energy deals worth hundreds of billions, they've forged a quasi-alliance that often works against India's strategic interests. In fact, Russia has turned increasingly toward China since Western sanctions hit. Their no-limits partnership is more than symbolic. It's a geopolitical pact that puts India in a secondary position if it joins. India has long championed the idea of strategic autonomy. Not aligning fully with any power bloc has allowed it to maintain independent relations with both East and West. A formal RIC alliance would threaten that autonomy. Think about it. How would India's role in the Quad or Indo-Pacific economic framework be perceived if it's also sitting in a camp with China, its main strategic rival? The credibility of India's multilateral diplomacy would suffer. So, what does India gain from joining this alliance? The honest answer is, not much. Russia sells weapons to both India and China. China continues to build infrastructure in disputed territories and blocks India's entry into the Nuclear Suppliers Group and UN Security Council reforms. There is no formal defense guarantee, no shared economic platform, and no common worldview. So why join an alliance where you're the odd one out? The biggest problem with the RIC alliance is China. Not just because of the 1962 war or Galwan clash, but because of China's fundamental strategic objectives. China supports Pakistan militarily, diplomatically, and economically. It expands influence through debt diplomacy across the global south. And it continues to challenge India's rise, be it in BRICS, SCO, or the UN. Joining an alliance with a country that actively seeks to contain you is not strategy. It's self-sabotage. So what's the better alternative? It's the path India is already walking, multi-alignment without entanglement. India is part of the Quad with the US, Japan, and Australia. It maintains deep ties with ASEAN. It plays a central role in BRICS and CO, but doesn't let them dictate its policy. This is true strategic flexibility. Even in Africa, West Asia, and Latin America, India is being seen as a trustworthy, neutral power that is not part of any rigid bloc. Before we move forward, please like, subscribe, and share Strategic Vanguard, and be up to date with the latest news and happenings from the world of defense and strategic affairs. Tune into our video channels in Rumble and YouTube. And if you want to hear the audio version, please tune into Strategic Vanguard Deep Dive in Spotify. The world is entering a new Cold War, and alliances are being redrawn. But for India, the answer is not to join a Russia-China axis where it has no real power, no real protection, and no real partnership. India must continue to lead the global south, partner with like-minded democracies, and engage on its own terms. Because strategic autonomy is not just a doctrine, it's India's greatest geopolitical strength. If you found this analysis insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Strategic Vanguard. Comment below. Should India align with Russia and China or maintain its independent path in global affairs? We want to hear from you.